Hey folks, this is Shawn Graham with Chasing the Truth, from the normal to the paranormal. Go to IamDarkWaters.com and subscribe, and you can get my full podcast there. All my archives, along with Dark Waters, the king of horror narration, and check out his new and old endeavors into the paranormal. So I have pulled out an excerpt from a future podcast. Noelle Boone is a wildlife biologist, and here is her encounter with a bear.
Where he was about 5 feet away from me.
Oh, geez. Tell me about that one.
That was when I was at the Cosin National Wildlife Refuge, and we were
Where's this located at?
In North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Near Crestwell, North Carolina, in the back of Beyond, small town. This wildlife refuge, they wanted us to do wood duck banding specifically. And so we had trucks that were filled with corn and buckets of corn. And after we would band them early in the morning, we'd have to get up like at 3 o'clock in the morning and wait for sunrise. The ducks would come up onto the land, and then we would be able to band them then.
Mm-hmm.
And because we would have baited traps with corn. And bears, I don't know what it was about that area, but there was a lot of bears. And I always saw them off in the distance, which never really bothered me. I was like, okay, they're down the road, and they're usually walking away. But this one morning after we were done banding, we'd have to reset the traps with the corn, so in the evening we can go back out and do it again. And there was this pond, and it was a pretty pond. You had to drive through a wooded area, and then you had to walk through just a little bit of woods, and then it was a little peninsula, like a sandbar almost. Mm-hmm. And then so the pond was on either side of this peninsula. Okay. And so we walked out on it. It was a nice morning, putting down the corn, carrying the big buckets of corn. And next thing I know, I'm with this girl who has less experience. This is like my first job out of school. Like from college. I was like, so, I had some experience, but I was still pretty green. And she was even greener than I was because she was still in school. So,
yeah, ban some ducks, they said. Sure, that's great. What could go wrong? It'll be fun. Yeah.
We did, we're putting the corn down. We turn around, and right at where the peninsula meets the land part, the forest, there's this bear, and it's looked pretty small. It was either, it was like juvenile size. I mean, mm-hmm. So it could have a mom nearby, or it could be just, on his own now, like just started. Yeah, so I wasn't quite sure, but his curiosity was very strong, though. And he decided he was going to walk out and, hey, what's up? You got food? Okay, give it to me. So, okay.
So I know I've asked you this before, but how big was this juvenile-esque, adult-esque bear?
It was a good size. I mean, and if it wanted to hurt us, it would definitely have been able to hurt us. I mean, it was bigger than a dog for sure. It was almost. That's why I'm not quite sure, because at the time, again, I never really did much with bears. But it was, if it would have stand up, it would be probably the same height as me, which I'm 5'5".
Oh, man. Well, that's still pretty good size. And plus the girth and width of the thing. Yeah. Wow.
So I was concerned, but I was more concerned because I'm like, well, I don't know when they being right out of school. I'm like, I don't know if bears are the mother still around, and because that's the real problem, not this juvenile that is interested in the corn. It's the mother that I'm worried about.
Oh, yeah. When my dad was habituating me to being out in the middle of the woods, he said, if you ever see bear tracks, you got to stop and look around.
Yep.
and that kind of stuff. And he said if you see a mama bear and a baby bear together, just go in the opposite direction of where you see them going.
Yep.
I was like,
yep.
Okay, Dad.
Yep. And so here we are on a peninsula, and we've backed off all the way to the very end. So now the only way back to the truck would be to go into the pond. And I looked at the girl that was with me, and I'm like, that the situation's going to end up that we end up in this pond. And she's like, well, can't we just wait? Because it was a stagnant pond. It was such a...
Oh, so like, green slime and junk.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, God, I don't want to go in this water. Like, what's worse? And I said, yeah, but I don't think we're going to get out of here anytime soon. And what happens if that mama bear comes up? Then we're screwed. Then we're going to end up in the water with her chasing us into the water. I would rather take my time and walk into the water.
And while he's feasting on the corn. Yeah.
I mean, he was like that. I mean, the bear really didn't care about us at all. He was just like, I got a big bucket of corn and I'm just eating away like nobody's business. And he was happy as can be.
No.
So, but I wasn't going to wait. I'm like, at first we were thinking, well, maybe we could just wait. But then I was like, I don't think that's a wise idea. Let's just go. And we did. And it was awful. It was the stench from hell breaking loose through the water.
Oh, so you actually did go into the water?
We had to. Yeah, it was just, we stood there for about like 20 minutes waiting, and he was just eating. And I just started getting more and more nervous. I'm like, if a mother comes out, we're screwed. I said, I'd rather, we're going to end up, either way, we're going to end up going into this water. So let's just go. Because, and then I go, and not only that, but what if after it gets done with the corn, he gets to noticing that we're standing here like two idiots looking at him. He's going to start coming up to us again. Then we're going to end up in the water anyway. So either way you look at it, we're going in.
Oh, man. You workers.
Yeah. We walked out and we were completely covered in mud. We looked like mud monsters when we walked out. It was awful. It was disgusting. And of course, we had to go back to the wildlife refuge, which was also
So what before you get to that, what actually happened to the bear? Did you just leave the scene and didn't look back?
Yeah.
Okay.
We left the scene. Yeah, we left it because by the time we got out, we were disgusted and disgusting. I mean, we were just covered in mud from head to toe.
Yeah.
She fell face first in a mud flat. I fell a couple times. It was just awful. And we knew that the ridicule would come from the firefighters back at the wildlife refuge, and it did. And we were made fun of and ridiculed. But
end of the day, you fed a bear very well. Right?
Yeah. Okay. We had to go back later that day to get the bucket. And the bucket was in the water and completely empty.
Oh, man. So did you go back to the area the next day? Oh, well, yeah, you just said that. Did you continue banding ducks after that?
Yeah, I mean, luckily that spot was not a great banding spot. Probably because the water was yucky. I mean, that water was just gross.
Yeah.
So, really, we had like a really low banding turnout there, so we didn't have to spend much time there. But, the other bears, we had blinds, like a wooden box that fit two people in there.
Mm-hmm.
And, the other bears would come up on the other spots and eat the corn, but they never even seemed to notice the blind, and they would just walk away. There'd be tense moments. It would be like, God, we just sat there like in silence and not made any noise.
Hey folks, this is Shawn Graham with Chasing the Truth. I hope you enjoyed the little excerpt from my interview with Noelle Boone. She is a wildlife biologist. If you want to listen to the rest of this interview, please go to Google Play Store or iTunes and download a free app called Paranormal Radio. And then tune in to Dark Waters Radio channel. And then you can hear Noelle Boone discuss a lot more encounters, one with a UFO, and then she gives her opinion on Dogman. So come join me Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, or 6 p.m. Pacific Time with Shawn Graham, host of Chasing the Truth.